PapersOwl is an essay writing service that claims to have over 500 writers ready to help students with their assignments. However, for us it always looked kind of suspicious, so we went to see how legit their service was. And sadly, we were right to doubt. Hi, I'm Santiago from Gradehacker, the non-traditional student's #1 resource. If you were wondering how a service like PapersOwl worked, you've come to the right place. We ordered a 4-page nursing essay about the microorganism Bacillus anthracis to be delivered in 5 days. In this video, we reviewed the quality of the essay we received and talked about the prices, but there is so much more worth talking about. We found a lot of red flags and have evidence on why they are read as legit. But to watch this, you have to click on the description and go to our full review. But I'll tell you something. You subscribe to our channel and I'll give you a little heads up. Deal? Here you have it. As you see, having an owl as a mascot is not the only resemblance they have with EduBirdie. You should also consider watching our EduBirdie review later. You'll see why. But before we start with our experience, let's see in less than 60 seconds what PapersOwl offers. First of all, academic assistance for research papers, essays, dissertations, and other college-related materials. Then, an editing service for when you want professional insight on how you can improve a written paper. And finally, they offer multiple free writing tools such as a plagiarism checker, a citation machine, and a thesis generator. The only one we don't recommend is the conclusion generator because it basically rewrites the introduction with the same wording and order and adds sentences from other parts of your text. It's just a very poor summary. But how much does PapersOwl cost? According to their website, prices start at $13.5, but since they have a bidding system, how much you'll pay will always depend on the writer you choose. You need to pay everything up front, but the payment is transferred to your funds and you don't release them to the writer until you are satisfied with your order. This way, you know that the writer will deliver your assignment on time and that they will be attentive to the revision in case you need one. Now, for our 4-page nursing essay, our writer's bids were as low as 98 and as high as 162. But truth be told, most of them were between 100 and 110. We paid 106 in total for 26.5 per page for our college paper. Yes, that's almost twice their starting price. We understand that the deadline affects the cost, but we think they should give more information on what other factors influence the pricing. But enough of that, and let's talk about the quality of our essay. To ensure that it was well written and met academic standards, we gave both versions of the paper to Chiki, our in-house editor-in-chief. We even have a separate video where she breaks down the essay section by section. Here we go over the most important mistakes we found and how to fix them, so we really recommend checking it out. We included it in our full review, but here you have a quick overview.
We had to ask for a revision because the first draft had 2 major issues. One was that there were some formatting mistakes, such as the title page and headings. They were all aligned to the left and underlined when they should be centered without any format. This made our paper look like a high school essay, but the biggest problem was that they sent us over 6 pages with 1,600 words, when we needed 4 pages with 1,200 words. Now, exceeding the limit for a bid is okay, but having 2 more pages is excessive. Another reason why the reading isn't smooth and understandable is the lack of connectors. It has 3 different sentences that, even though they discuss the same topic, look like isolated ideas. And finally, we have the 2 biggest mistakes of the paper. First, one of the instructions was to include a diagram explaining how an organism is transmitted, and this is what we got. Your internet connection is not failing. This is what we actually got. Our writer sent a super blurry picture that is clearly taken from Google. And they didn't even download it. They just sent us a screenshot of the search. The second mistake is even worse. To guide the writer, we attached 2 files. Instructions to explain what sections needed to be included, and guidelines to show an example of how the essay should be structured. The paper's instruction included a section where it was needed to write a hypothetical scenario where someone contracts the disease caused by your chosen microorganism. This section was not included in the essay we received, meaning our writer didn't properly read all the files attached, a huge letdown. The only positive aspect that we can point out is that we ran it through our plagiarism software and we only found 2% of plagiarized content, which corresponded to a very short sentences from non-related sources. With all this said, I give PapersOwl a 5 in AP formatting, but mainly because we asked them to fix it and still didn't change them. A 3 in clarity and comprehension because of the poor structure, and well, since we didn't find a problem with that, a 9 in plagiarism.
Thank you, Chiki. But there is one more aspect we need to talk about, and that's PapersOwl legitimacy. Of course, we can't say that they are a scam. However, we don't think PapersOwl is a legit service. It's time we talk about the elephant in the room. They are basically an exact copy of EduBirdie. We have a similar layout, the same navigation portal and payment system, and both have an identical ordering process: form, writers categories, and a bidding system.
Now hang on, because we are not saying this just because they look identical. By reviewing their terms of service, we found that PapersOwl is owned and managed by the same people as EduBirdie. This is huge, and we found that there is a foreign company behind this and other two essay writing companies, all with the same workflow and writers. You can check this out and find all the evidence we compiled in our full review. So, what do we think of them?
In our opinion, they were not worth the try. PapersOwl lacks transparency, communication, and legitimacy. Still, we would like to clarify that by no means do we want to encourage you to purchase this service. The purpose of this video is to show how this existing service works. If you want to learn how other essay writing companies operate, be sure to subscribe to our channel and let us know in the comments what review you want us to upload next. You can also watch our experience with PaperHelp to see how that went. And if you have doubts about the similarities with EduBirdie, you have that review too. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.